Hey guys, so I'm not gonna be long, but I do want to cover some things um, that we just so that we have it. You can always go back, take notes, make your own notes. Feel free to make comments, ask questions, but I'm gonna go over some things from the team meeting. First is kind of like our mission statement. I haven't officially wrote a mission statement, but I think it's very important that we have one. Why? Because we need to know what this team is purposed to do. We know we're under the Diamond Empire umbrella, but then of course there are extensions of that. And so we are not your average diamond. That's our team or our group name, not your average diamond. That name within itself represents a lot of different things. And so what I would like for each of you to do is to write down what you think that means, or better yet, what it means to you, right? Because there is no right or wrong answer. But if someone were to ask you, what team are you a part of? And, I'm not your average diamond. What do you think is going to come to their mind? Or what thought do you want to come to their mind? The first thing for me was, I want us to be seen as going outside the norm, getting outside of our comfort zones, and getting not non-average results, right? Of course, all of us have our own business, right? These are all our own businesses. So how we choose to work them, run them, that's up to us. But there are some basic things that help your business to grow, help your business to gain momentum. There are some basic things. But y'all, I also believe that there are some things that nobody's tried yet. There's some things that nobody has tried yet, whether it's out of fear, whether it's out of, let me just stay here because I know for sure this works. So there's the fear of failure, right? And then there's the fear of, I think, like being the black sheep. Like, you don't want to be the team that, people kind of look at weird. Have you ever, that person, or Lord forbid, or not necessarily forbid, but it's quite possible that you're that person in your family. Y'all, for me, I'm that person in my family. I'm that person in my family. I don't do the things that everybody else does or the way that they do it. And so I'm not average in anything that I do. And I don't intend on being the average typical diamond. Yes, there are some basic things that I do in order to work my business, and we're going to talk about that next. But I want us also to try and see what we can do differently. Change is inevitable. And I know that, yes, there are some basics, but you can't do the same thing the same way all the time and expect to, I'm going to say, and expect to dominate in your area. You might be some decent competition for certain other teams or groups or whatever the case may be. But y'all, I don't want us to compete at all. Because if you have read 10X Rules, I'm telling you, you got to get that book, 10X Rules. Grant Cardone talks about that. Competing is literally copying and just trying to be a better copy of the person you're competing with. I don't want to be a copy of anybody. I want us to dominate. Which means if we're dominating in that area, that means everybody else is trying to find a way to do what we're doing, to get the results that we're getting, right? That's what 10Xing it is. 10Xing is not just about adding more. It's about doing more. So do the things, do the extra things that nobody else will do. Go the extra places. Say the extra things. Ask the extra people. You know, as far as resources. Okay, so that's kind of what our team name kind of means and represents for me. But I want each of you to come up with your own. The next thing that I want to try and talk about is some basic things that we need to know as new DTs. There are some non-negotiables is kind of what it's called. Is there are certain things that really, in order for you to succeed in this business, you need to do. How you choose to do it, again, is up to you. But there are some basic things that really make this business workable in order for you to succeed. First and foremost is posting. Okay? People can't come to your store if they don't know that you're open for business. They can't want to buy or purchase what you're offering if they don't know what that is. Okay, so posting is a must. Posting is a non-negotiable. How you post, where you post, when you post, all of that is up to you. Now, we of course have our tips from the top. We have different power hours. I don't know if you guys saw it or whatever, but I want us to come up with a power hour. Even if the power hour isn't actually an hour, if we only can start out with 30 minutes to get us all together, okay? There is some power in the unity itself, in just the working together, okay? So you have those as well that offer structure and tips as far as how to post, what has worked for different people and several people in posting. But again, this is your business. You know your audience for the most part, okay? If you don't have a Facebook or an Instagram, I'm going to suggest that you get both, okay? And we'll do separate trainings on each of these things, okay? Posting and the other things that we're going to talk about, okay? As far as, you know, how those should look, where to do it, the sites, the apps, all of that, okay? What I will add to that though is part of the posting, part of the success in posting is being visible. You want to be seen. You want people to see your face. You want them to hear your voice, and you want to do that as much as possible. So you want to interact. You want to get into groups that are about things that you are passionate about. You know, it doesn't just have to be our It Works team pages. Interact within the group pages that you're a part of. Build connections, okay? Which we're going to move on to the next one, which is building connections within those, within your social medias, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram. Y'all, I've added Twitter and I've added LinkedIn. Well, I already had LinkedIn, but I've started posting certain posts to my LinkedIn and creating activity there. You want to be visible. So when people say or speak, it works. They see your face. Now, you may have to, other people may have to go into who Mark Pentecost is and who Cami is. They may discuss, the conferences or whatever. But even in the midst of that conversation, they still think Rosalind. They still think Jaylyn. They still think Ronald. They still think, oh my gosh, y'all, I know, y'all mostly see women, but y'all, Ron's businessman, he doing that thing. And he's getting more and more men to be a part of it. Or if they say, you know what, I don't really hear about, men being in It Works. Oh, let me tell you about Ronald Rogers. Like, those are the things you want to be so visible. So you have to put yourself out there. You can ease into it, but you're gonna have to get out there. Okay. And of course, there are different types of posts. Whether it's a lifestyle post, people want to know that you're a real person, that you do more than sit up and put up pictures of It Works, keto coffee, and cleanse and hydrate. That you have a life, whether you're working, whether you like to exercise, ladies, whether you're into fashion, you have kids, you're going to ball games, birthday parties, girls' night out, guys' night out, whatever the case may be. You want to post about your life. So there's lifestyle posts. There's opportunity posts. You want people to join your team. You want people to see your post and see what's going on and see your journey so that they want to join and be a part of it. So you want to have opportunity posts. And then you also want to have product posts. If your store is open, tell me what you're selling, right? What do you have to offer that I want, right? And so, again, those are the basics. And then how you present that is up to you. Guys, you can do all three in one post. You can do your lifestyle, your opportunity, and your product post all in one. I'll give you an example. I do a lot of lives. That has just really kind of become my thing. But sometimes for a live, I will make one of my greens smoothies. That's posting my product. Again, and then it's a lifestyle post. So I'm going to talk about my day, maybe something that went on with my kids or something I've got coming up at church. That's lifestyle. I have life outside of It Works. Okay. And then opportunity. At the end of that, I'm going to talk about why this is an amazing business. And then I'm going to give a call to action at the very end of that. So I just did all three of those in one live. Okay. So you can do those types of things. And again, like I said, we'll do separate trainings on each topic later on. The next thing we're going to talk about is personal development. Personal development is a non-negotiable. I say it all the time. Anything not growing is dead. You do not want to die in this business. You don't want to die in this business. You did not spend your $99 to be a part of It Works Global to die in it. You didn't. You have a purpose. You have a goal. You have things that you're trying to get through and get to. And in order to do that, you have to grow your knowledge. You have to grow your mindset. You have to grow your understanding. Mindset, y'all, in this business is key. You have to believe that you can do it. You have to see that you're doing it. And you have to grow your mindset. Some of us have had to completely change our mindset. We've had to go from thinking this is never going to work, to calling things to ourselves. Y'all, I called Ruby to me because when I started out, I was moving and I was like, this is not happening. What am I doing? I would tell Lizzie and Esty, I was like, I don't understand why I can't close these things. Like, I'm doing the messaging, I'm doing the posting, I'm showing up to the Zooms. Why is this not working? And I had to change my mindset. I had to think about the things that I was letting consume my mind. I had to think about the things I was allowing to come out of my mouth about my business. That's personal development. So whether you're reading books, I am not an avid reader, even though I'm a writer. I'm not an avid reader. So the books that I have, my books are audiobooks. I listen to them at work. I listen to them here at home sometimes when I'm messaging or whatever. And so you need to find some time for that personal development every day. every day. You want to grow a little bit every day. So again, I recommend 10X Rules by Grant Cardone. I recommend Sun Stand Still. That's by Stephen Furtick. I recommend Who Stole My Cheese? And I am not recalling the author right now, but it's on our team page, and I will probably post it a little bit later. But yeah, Who Stole My, y'all, those are three that have really been vital. Battlefield of the Mind by Joyce Meyer. Those books have really been vital into my frame of thinking. And I'm getting ready to, because a coworker of mine was reading Grant Cardone's, oh gosh, of course, now it slips me. Be Obsessed or Be something. Anyway, but it's about being obsessed with, with like your success and where you're trying to go and what you're willing to do to get it and all of that. And so that is my next one. That is my next one. Oh. And I say next one because I am still in the middle of It's Not Supposed to Be This Way. Now that lady, I don't know if y'all have heard of it or read it, but It's Not Supposed to Be This Way. That is a very good one as far as mindset as well. Another one is going to be Follow Up. Okay. If and when you ask, you're going to have to do that more than once to several people. Okay. Do not get discouraged with the no's, because we all know that's going to happen. But don't get discouraged with the people who aren't sure. Don't get discouraged with the people who get all the way to the end, like they've said yes. Y'all, I'm telling y'all, that was so much of my frustration, because I was able to work them up to all the way yes. And I would say, okay, so would you like to have my site information? Would you like for me to enroll you? Or would you like for me to place your order? Or would you like my site information? Some of them would ghost me right then. They wouldn't say anything. I'd be like, what the heck? Or some of them would be like, yeah, just give me your site. I'd be like, okay, so here's the site information. Here's my cell phone number. Holler at me if you have any questions. And then they would ghost on me. Y'all, but you have to follow up. I have people who I have literally been following up with since I started this business. Now, mind you, some of them, the ones who I talked to from the beginning, depending on what their response was or what it is, sometimes, y'all, I still follow up with those same people every day. That means there are several people on my potentials list, y'all, and I have over 100 and something people on my DT potentials list. I don't follow up with all of them every day. And it's, of course, for different reasons, whether people were like, well, get back with me this time or so forth and so on. So, but I have people on my list, y'all, that I have been following up with every day since the end of March. Every day since the end of March. And they still have not specifically said yes or no. And when I say that, it's because they're watching. Guys, even if they're not responding, they're watching. And you can tell, especially on Facebook Messenger, because it drops their little character down, right? So they're watching. They're getting the messages. They're hearing what you're saying. They're watching. Some of them really are waiting because they're afraid of the financial aspect of it. We don't know everybody's situation. And some people really are afraid of putting that $99, even though we spend it for senseless stuff all the time. They're afraid of putting that dollar amount on something that most of them have never tried. And because of whatever situation they're in, that scares them. And that's okay. That's okay. We are going to be patient. So you want to follow up even if they don't respond, and you want to follow up until they say no. If somebody specifically tells you no, leave them alone about it. Because you would be surprised how many of them are still watching you too. And you also want to, we'll talk about that in the next thing. Okay, but you want to follow up. If it's easier for you to have a specific day that you follow up on, that's fine. You know, how you choose to track your follow-ups, you'll find that most of the people on our team, y'all, are pencil and paper kind of people. I personally just kind of enjoy doing it that way. But there are some people who do their follow-ups on their computer. They've downloaded their friends list to their computer, and so they've done like this whole big Excel spreadsheet or whatever. I probably will do that at some point, but right now I have a notebook. Is this it? Yes, I have a notebook. You'll see has my DTs, and you'll see my lines, and it has my dates. Yep. And it continues. Okay. So, yeah, I have over 100 and something DTs. This is, and I got this particular notebook is just for my DTs. See, it's green. And then I have Green Book 1 and Green Book 2, because this is for like my tips from the top notes and power hour notes and any other kind of notes, self-development notes. When I was listening to 10X Rules, my notes went in here. Yes, my personal development. I'm not just listening to it, I'm taking notes. I'm honing into what is for me. Okay, and then we have messaging. This is probably where you're gonna hear me say things that are different from what others in our upline or team, or I don't know how you want to say it. But this is, I probably differ a little bit in this because I don't necessarily agree with the numbers game theory. And let me tell you why. I feel like if it was strictly based on numbers, okay, if this was based on numbers, there would be some sort of a comparison ratio. So you could tell me, well, for every 50, for every 100, for every 200 that you message, you should average this many customers, or you should average this many enrollees. Nobody can give that number. Nobody can give that number. And so the way numbers work, and I'm not a mathematician, but the way numbers are finite, like they're definite. So numbers are numbers. And they don't vary like that. So what do I believe? I believe that, yes, you need to ask. So yes, you need to do some messaging. But I also believe that the number of people you message, you need to consider who you're messaging. I don't believe that you should take a message, which is what makes it spammy looking, which is how messages get blocked out of being sent and so forth, because it'll tell you that it looks, like spam or whatever. And so you, instead of running down, you take your message and then you just forward, send, and you're just randomly sending to whoever, however many times that you can send it. One of my reasons for joining this business was that I wanted to free up some time. I already had a part-time job. I was working full-time, 8 to 5 at my day job. I would get off, I would come home, make sure my kids have something to eat real quick, change my clothes, and I was off to my part-time job at Can't Quit. So I was working 2 jobs. My reason for wanting a different part-time job was I wanted to free up that time. I wanted to free up that time and still bring in some income because we still needed the money. But I felt like I was losing time with my kids. Like, y'all, I was working all the time. All the time. I had Tuesday and Wednesday off during the week. So all of my weekends were taken. And that just got to just be a no-go. That was a no-go for me. When I got into this business and I started doing the messaging, I felt really overwhelmed and kind of consumed with messaging. And of course there are basic scripts that you can be given, and it's encouraged to, we'll change the script up to how to where it sounds more like you. Yeah. And I was doing that. And so I was like, I don't understand why it's not working. Because for me, I felt like it's not working. If I am messaging, if you're telling me I have to message more and I'm messaging more and that's still not working, you can't tell me that I'm not doing the work. There is another element that is missing somewhere, right? I got up to the point of where I was messaging anywhere from about 150 to 200 or so people every day. And y'all, it was consuming my time because I worked a full-time job during the day. So the only time I really had to sit and message was when I got home in the evening. Yes, I'm at home, but I'm still stuck on the job, basically. And so, again, with some of my personal development, some of my reading, I really started to think about more so of who I was messaging, the type of people I was messaging, the content of my message. I changed up how I message. Very seldom, if ever, do I message through text. Most of the people who I message through text are follow-ups. And even my follow-ups depend on what their initial response was. What their initial response was to my first time messaging them. I now do more video and voice clip messages because people are very suspicious these days. There are so many different types of scams, especially on social media. Scams and things that I did. I had, not a lot, but enough people were asking, is this a scam? Or you ask them to host a post and they'd say stuff like, yeah, I'll do it if this is real. And I was like, I kind of felt bad. I'm like, why are you so suspicious? Especially when it got to the point where, you're seeing more and more, I'm in the business a little bit longer. So you're seeing more and more of my, of my postings. You're seeing me use the products. Why would you think it's a scam? Why would you think it's a scam? Whether I'm asking you to join the team, join the business, or whether I'm asking you to put up a post, or whether I'm asking you to become a customer, why do you think it's a scam? So in order to give a little more reassurance, I started sending voice clips. And then as I got a little bit more comfortable with the video, I started sending video clips. And the response has been amazing. And I tell you why. And I tell you Do I have a whole, list of customers and team members? No. I just got boxed for Ruby this month, so I only have 3. I have 5 customers that I personally enrolled, but I hate that when my mom brain kicks in and I lose my train of thought in the middle of my thought. But anyway, so I don't have a whole lot, but I have a lot of connections, and I got a lot of response from people saying, thank you so much for not just sending me, and they would say, a spam message. Thank you so much for letting me hear your voice, or thank you so much for letting me see your face. And I would change up how I did it, y'all. I did some follow-ups with the little Snapchat voices or whatever. Y'all, I had so many people who absolutely loved those. Is that typical for how they message? No. And I'm going to be real honest. I don't even think people on my team who are, other DTs on the other part of the team or whatever, who are aware of that I did that. I think some of them felt some kind of way about it. Like, did she really? Yes. Because 1, this is my business to work however I see fit. And so long as I'm messaging, I can message however I choose to do that. And I got a really good response. People thought it was so original. It was like, oh my gosh, you were so funny. There are people who I think probably never would have talked to me had I not done that, because they were like, that was so funny. What do you want me to put up? I got a lot of host of posts doing that. I got people willing to listen to the opportunity because of my post. Y'all, the one for the opportunity had like these big old pink glasses, a big old pink hat, and of course, the little voice or whatever. And people absolutely loved it. They responded to it. You have to try some new stuff sometimes, and if it don't work, it don't work. Like, are you really worse off if that don't work? If you have to change it? You're not any worse off than you were before you tried it. But you at least tried it, so you at least know whether or not it's something you can use or not. You're not reinventing the wheel. It's still messaging. You're just upgrading the wheel a little bit. You're adjusting the wheel a little bit. There's nothing wrong with that. And ultimately, this is your business. I always want you all to feel like this is your business. Take what's for you in the tips from the top. Get on the Power Hour and work it with them. So, of course, add to your network. That's what we didn't talk about. Add to your network. Add to your Facebook. You don't want to keep posting and sharing your business with the same people over and over and over again. So you do. You have to add. You have to delete. Right? So you definitely want to make sure to do those basic things. But how you choose to do it, guys, please always know that this is your business. Me, Lizzie, Esty, Sherry, Stacy. I know I'm calling a lot of names that y'all don't even know, but you will get to know them and you'll be like, oh, okay, that's what she was talking about. Kelly, John, all of these great Lindy, like all of these great leaders that we have as a part of this team, they are a resource. They are a resource. We are resources. We are mentors at different levels. And so take what's for you. Use what you can. If you don't like it, throw it out. Throw it out. Your business is not going to not succeed because you didn't do exactly what each of us told you to do. Why? Because your business isn't supposed to look like my business. Your business isn't supposed to look like Estee's business. Your business isn't supposed to look like Sherry's business. Your business is supposed to look like it belongs to you. So you need to know who's your audience, who's your geared audience, who are you gearing your business to? Who are you trying to reach? When you're asking for team members, what kind of team do you want to build? What are you offering them? And I don't mean stuff. I don't mean the kit. I don't mean the money. I mean, what are you offering them? What are you going to offer them that's going to make them want what you have and want them to stay to get it? Darlings, that's the other reason why I don't really buy the numbers game either. Because I should not have to start from scratch or rebuild my team every couple weeks, every couple months, every couple years. I should not be rebuilding. I should be building on to. And that is what Not Your Average Diamond is about. I don't see there not being a way to get quality people from the beginning. I've heard so much in this business be talked about how, you're going to get your first 10 and 5 of them are going to fall off and 2 of them ain't going to do nothing. And for some, maybe so. Does that mean it's not possible? But I also believe that your first 10 can be a quality 10. And that those same 10 can be with you and work in their business and be successful in the next year, in the next 2 years, in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years. Those same first 10 can be there. And I want this team to demonstrate longevity. How do you get it? You have to offer them something that they need. Offer them something that they're looking for. And I guarantee you they are looking for something deeper than money. Money may be what brought them, maybe what intrigued them. But for them to come and stay, it's got to be deeper than that. There has to be purpose to it. There has to be some goal that you are getting to. You still may only need $200, $500, $1,000 a month. But if you offer them something deeper than that $2,000 a month, they're going to stick around for that $2,000 because they're getting what they need. And I believe we can find out what that is. That we can present that to people who need that and want that. So does that mean it may take me a little bit longer to get where I'm trying to go? Well, no. It may take me a little bit longer to work those 10 than it would for somebody who's messaging 100 people. But I would rather work those 10 and those 10 stay with me than for me to message 100, only get 10, and 5 of them fall off and 2 of them stop working. Who's better off? I'm just saying. So yeah, evaluate. You need to evaluate the type of people you want to build your team with and ask them. And you want to message the people, guys, even for customers. Yes, you can ask everybody, but those of you who are asking people who you have some sort of relationship with, you know whether or not they are going to be able to maintain that auto ship for 90 days. You know whether or not they're going to be able to maintain it. And so you need to evaluate the type of people, the kind of people who you are asking to become customers. Because again, and I found this out really quick. Now, mind you, 2 of them that declined the way they did, I really didn't expect that to happen. But it did. But my original first four, the four people I got my fast start bonus with, guys, their stuff has either declined or they canceled. My first four. Because they couldn't maintain the 3 month. They couldn't maintain it. And you want to consider that. Now, mind you, when you're asking people who you don't know, you do take that risk. You do take that risk because even their social media is only going to tell you so much about them. It's not going to tell you everything about their situation. Most people's social media only shows the ups. Don't necessarily show the downs. Okay? But you want to try to put value into who you are messaging. And again, like I said, we are going to do separate smaller trainings. Like I said, I wanted to cover everything that was in the team meeting. We're not quite to an hour yet, so I'm doing good. I'm so proud of me. And because I did my notes, y'all. I took notes so I could stay focused. Aren't you proud of me? I'm proud of me. Okay. So we talked about that. One thing I want you all to also take note of. Nope, I'm going to do that one in a different training because I think that's probably a lot. That's going to need a little bit. Okay. Our team fast, I want to touch base real quick. Again, like I told you, I'm probably going to do some things that you don't hear a lot of team leaders say. I'm going to ask you guys to take some risk with me, to jump off a few cliffs with me. I know, like you tell your kids, like, really, if they jumped off a cliff, would you go? I need y'all to be like, yep, if she jumping, I'm jumping. You know why? Y'all, because there is purpose behind my jump. If I'm jumping, it's because I know there's something down there I need. There's something down there I need to get me to where I'm going. So if y'all are willing to jump, there are going to be several moments where we just jump. And y'all, I'm telling you, you're going to have to develop some backbone to be a part of this team. Because I'm telling you now, we gonna get the side eye about some stuff. We're going to get the side eye. People are going to be like, I don't know what they think they're doing. I don't know why she's posting like that, or I don't know why he's, whatever it is you put on, page you're talking about on your live, so the team fast. Mind you, it is not required. I can't make you fast. Again, you don't work for me. We are just a team. And so, but I also believe that there are some things, guys, that are only accomplished through fasting and praying. I believe that wholeheartedly. So I'm asking, as far as the team fasts go, that you would choose one day out of the week to fast. I know I posted on my video yesterday that it's going to be Tuesday, but I switched it because of some things that I'm doing. So my fast is actually going to. Are you okay? Yeah. Okay. Sorry. So my fast is actually going to take place on Wednesdays. Okay, it's actually going to take place on Wednesdays, and it's for a full 24 hours. Okay, for a full 24 hours. You can pick how your 24 hours goes, but my 24 hours will be from midnight on Tuesday to midnight on Wednesday. Okay? Excuse me. So, and you get to choose whatever it is that you're fasting from. So I'm not going to tell you, please fast from food or fast from sugar or do a Daniel's fast or fast from TV or whatever the case may be. You get to choose what that is. I just want to, help you all to understand or to know that when it comes to fasting, It is about a sacrifice. So if it's something that you know you're not going to have trouble giving up, then you're really not fasting from anything. Okay? It is something that is going to make your flesh, it's going to make you uncomfortable to do without this thing for that 24 hours. Okay? If you do choose to fast from food, please, 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 please consult your doctor, especially if you're on medication. Okay, so if you're on medication, please check with your doctor if you are desiring to fast from food. Okay, and then with that, I also want you to write down what it is you're fasting for, because it will get hard. You will have moments where you're feeling weak. And so to press through that, I want you to be able to go to your list. I want you to be able to go to your list and say, this is a reason why it's more important for me to make this sacrifice right now. Thing number 2, obedience, right, makes this so much worth the sacrifice, whatever that is. Okay. And I just want you all to be aware of the things that I am fasting for. And I have 4. Team longevity. Okay. Who we start with, we finish with. Okay. For all of our members to go for, and that's anybody who becomes a team member, between now and conference, to go to Conference's Diamonds. I believe it can happen. I really hope and pray that you all are planning to go to conference in January. And again, I understand some people work and can't take off or whatever the case. But if you can, I'm hoping and praying that you will make the effort to go to conference. And my prayer is that we will all go as a team full of diamonds. My next one is that those who are desiring it will get their freedom from corporate America. Now, not everybody wants to not have a full-time 8 to 5. There are some people who really like the industry that they work in. They really love getting up and going to work. Some people live for that structure. I know I get up at this time. I have to be to work at this time. I take my break, my lunch, my next break. I'm gone from work. Bam. They like that, and they're in the field or the industry that they love. Great. But my prayer is that those who are desiring freedom from corporate America, from having to clock in and out for somebody else, that they're able to do that at their desired time, not mine. But if you're looking to, not have to do that anymore within the next year, within the next 2 years, within the next 5 years, if that's what you're desiring to do, I'm fasting for that for us, because that's my desire. The next year and a half, that's really what I'm asking God for. And yes, I'm asking God for some big stuff. I am. And then finally, I know, again, we have Minister Rogers. I find it hard to call him Ronald. I find it hard to call him Ron because we were in ministry together. So he is Minister Rogers to me. But I pray that our team continues to build leaders in having men members. I want this team to be the leader in that, to dominate in that area, to have men who are a part of this business who are or maybe are not married. Like, they don't get in this business because their wife is in it and then she technically signed him up. And so in watching her do and watching her perform, then he jumped on board. Not that we don't take them. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if a man so chooses to be a part of this business and get in because that's what he wants to do, that he will do that, and that he will be successful in that, and that we will be able to lead and advise in that area. So those are the 4 things. And then finally, last but not least, and I got 10 minutes left. Okay. Last but not least, our team triad. I really want us to venture out more. Yes, this is mainly a social media business, but there are benefits into interacting live with people. And so our first activity I would really like for us to do is a team triad. And that's basically like having a wrap party and a sample party all in one. So we need a location, preferably one that's free, that we can invite our potential DTs and customers to. Okay, that they can come, they can sample some of our products, whether it's the coffees, the greens, the immunity, some hydrates, and then we're going to wrap a couple of people. I think we can probably, I was initially saying 2 hours, but I think we probably need about 4. Probably about 4 would be optimal, because we want to be able to answer questions. We want to be able to set up an area to where people can enroll as customers, and another area set up where people can enroll and become DTs. Okay, I really want us to have a really successful time. So we of course want to, maybe give away some products, give away some samples, have a couple of prizes. I actually have my sister does some monogramming on like cups, jackets, caps, things like that. And so I'm asking her to maybe put together maybe 2 baskets for us for Not Your Average Diamond. And let's give a couple of baskets away. Maybe we can get like some gift cards and things like that, to make this a really fun event. And then we're going to do it live on Facebook the day that we do it. So we need to come up with a location. We need to come up with a date and a time that is optimal for the majority of us. Okay, I'd really like for all of us to be there, but we know that's not always the case. But if at all possible, I want all of us to be there so we can have our potentials there and we can answer questions together, and all of that good thing. We can all share our story. If you haven't worked on your story yet, work on your story. If you don't know how to put it together, shoot me a message, a text or something, and I will give you like an outline as far as like questions and things to kind of answer that kind of helps put your story together. Okay, because people, the one thing one of the things that I do agree with, that I hear our leaders say all the time, people buy you before they buy the product. They buy into you. They need to know your story. They need to know who you are and what you're about. They need to know whether or not they can trust you. And that's what your story helps to do. So yeah, that is team meeting. 53 minutes. I did good, y'all, because I took my notes. But yeah, probably within the next few days, you'll start seeing different subjects: messaging, posting, personal development suggestions. What else did we talk about? Your timeline content. Posting your opening for your business. How do you post that you're open for business? What do you need to do? What do you need to say? Okay, so all of that stuff. Again, if you have any questions, drop it in the comments, and I'll come through and answer as best I can. If I don't have an answer, I will find one for you. Yeah, and so we're gonna hit the ground running, y'all, and we are going. The sky, it's not just the sky is the limit. No sky, no limit. Right? No sky, no limit. So there is no ceiling. There is no ceiling. So, yeah, I love you guys. I hope you guys are working on your vision boards. Okay. I'm going to work on mine this weekend, so hopefully I'll get to show it to you. But I hope you're working on your vision boards. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to see yourself? Where do you want to see our team? Where do you want to see Diamond Empire? Where do you want to see all of us? Like, what do you see? Right? So hopefully you guys are working on those vision boards, and I'll hit you guys up when we need to meet again or talk again or whatever the case may be. But that does not mean you can't message me in the meantime or call me or text me or whatever the case may be. Okay? You can find me and get a hold of me some kind of way, and I will get back to you. Okay? I love you guys. God bless. Heavenly Father, we thank you right now for our team, for this opportunity. We thank you for this wonderful business that has connected us and is bringing us together. We thank you, Father, for the future that you have planned for us, for the purpose that you've called us out to. We ask that you would bless each and every household represented in the name of Jesus, God. Bless abundantly. Answer prayers, Father. Lift hearts, encourage, heal, deliver, restore, renew. God, do what you do. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. I love you guys. Good night.